It's time for October's Tbr Plinko. So last month I did 5 drops. I am going to be doing only 5 drops again this month because I have another plan for what I'm going to be reading for October. Last month I really prioritized my Bookopoly as well as my magical readathon reads, and so I did a lot better in those areas. I'm not sure how well I did with my actual Plinko TBR. I had Confessions by Kane Minato, which I did read. American Prince by Sierra Simone, which I'm over halfway through, so I believe I'll get that done before the end of September because there is still a couple days left in this month. I had Wilding Hall by Elizabeth Hand, which I also finished. Flowers for Algernon by Daniel Keyes, which I'm over halfway done, and it's really short, so I definitely should be done that by the end of the month. And then No One Gets Out Alive by Adam Neville, which I have not even started. Turns out it's a really expensive ebook, and I am hella cheap. I definitely want to come up with some sort of punishment system for when I don't finish my TBR, but I don't actually have one right now. Like I said, we're going to be doing 5 drops. If I happen to get 3 drops in the same number, then I will add another book, but hopefully that won't happen. The other thing I'm going to be doing this month is I'm going to be doing what I'm calling 31 Days of Horror. Not exactly an original title, but I didn't exactly spend a lot of time trying to come up with something catchy. Basically, I have made an advent calendar for myself filled with different horror things that I want to consume this month. My advent calendar looks like shit, but I'm going to show you it anyways. Here it is. I made my own advent calendar using toilet paper rolls and tissue paper. It's not exactly fancy. Essentially, what I did is I wrote down a ton of different horror movies, a ton of different horror books, a couple horror TV shows, a couple horror comic book series, and I put 2 slips of paper for each one of these days because I wanted to give myself a little bit of choice. I did it at random, so I could end up with 2 book choices, I could end up with 2 movie choices, or I could end up with a movie choice and a book choice, etc., etc. I will just choose one for that day that I want to start. I don't have to finish it that day because I know myself well enough to know that I don't often finish an entire book in a day. I very much like to bounce around between things. I've decided I'm going to vlog this whole experience. I just want to consume as much horror as I can. I feel like this will make more sense in my vlogs. I don't know if I'm going to be posting weekly vlogs, daily vlogs, I truly don't know, but it's just going to be a fun time, something I wanted to do for myself, to force myself into consuming horror content because I love it, but yet I rarely do it. Now let's see what Plinko has in store for me. So let's go with drop number 1. We have comic. Love that. Because of my advent calendar over here, I have a very ambitious TBR, so having something like a comic is great. That should be easy to do. Also, I just want to say manga also counts for this, which is great because I've been reading My Hero Academia, and that's probably what I'm going to include on here. So for comic, I'm going to be reading My Hero Academia. I binge read a ton of this last month, and I absolutely have fallen in love with it. Currently, I'm on volume 9, but I imagine maybe by time October rolls around, which like I said, there's a couple days left in September, I'll probably be a bit farther, let's say volume 11 or so. This is about a world in which superheroes exist and most people have some sort of quirk that gives them some sort of special ability. Our main character is someone who has never manifested a quirk, but despite that, he is determined to become a superhero and to go to the UA Academy, which is where the biggest and best superheroes train. He ends up being chosen by All Might, who is the biggest, best superhero around and his personal hero. He ends up being chosen by him to kind of become his successor. He wants to pass on his abilities to our main character so that he can become this great superhero like himself. I just really adore this manga. I didn't think I was going to be as into it as I was, but I'm so looking forward to reading more of it. And replacing that with Kindle Unlimited. Alright, time for drop number 2. Another great one for an overambitious month. This is definitely where I'm going to fit some erotica in here. For treat, I'm choosing Better Off Red by Rebekah Weatherspoon. This is the first book in the Vampire Sorority Sisters series. I'm not big on paranormal anything. I haven't really read a lot of paranormal erotica, it's just not my thing. Vampires are very much not my thing. I was never into the Twilight stuff, but it really does intrigue me. I've heard a lot about Rebekah Weatherspoon's work. I've never read anything from her, and I'm really, really excited to try it with this. This book is about a main character who feels drawn into the sorority life and then finds out that there are vampires. I believe that this is a female-female relationship, which is so exciting. I mean, vampires, sorority, lesbians, who could ask for more than that on Halloween? This says OOC, so this is an abbreviation for out of character, so something that's a little bit outside of my comfort zone, like say fantasy or historical fiction, just something I don't read a lot and it would be very rare for me to pick it up. Time for drop number 3. Okay, it turns out this eyeshadow is not the perfect dropper. 6. Blank word title. So for this, I'm going to go to a random number generator, put the numbers between 0 and 10, and that will be however many words I need to find in the title. I'm not going to do screen recording for this. You're just going to have to trust me. I'll just show you here. I put between 1 and 10, and we'll click generate, and we got 4. So for that, I will have to find a book with 4 words in the title. For 4-word title, I'm gonna go with All Your Twisted Secrets by Diana Urban. I put a ton of horror in my advent calendar, but I didn't put any thrillers, and I feel like I could really go for a thriller in this spooky season. They're just perfect for it. I like that I could possibly listen to this on audiobook too, because it's young adult. I'm not as into young adult as I used to be, so listening to an audiobook are usually a perfect way to go for me. Hopefully this will be a fun thriller to kind of break up all the dark, spooky shit I'm going to be reading. This is about a group of kids in high school who all get invited to this scholarship dinner, only to find out that it is actually a trap. They are stuck in a building with a bomb as well as a syringe filled with poison, and they have to decide who dies, and if they don't, then everyone dies. This is something I've read, honestly, several times at this point, and it's usually kind of disappointing. But I do love that breakfast club sort of scenario where you have the jock and the prom queen and the nerd and the outcast. Like, there's something about that I will always just adore. Really, it comes back to loving the breakfast club as much as I do, but I hope that this one will be different and I'll end up really loving it. And if not, I'm sure it'll be at least easy and fun. And we'll replace that with low rated. Time for drop number 4. 3 again. So something out of my comfort zone. And we've landed on 3 twice now, so if I land on it again, that means I have to add another drop. For out of character, I'm gonna read Full Throttle by Joe Hill. I'm trying to read as much horror as I can in October, and I feel like this is a good pick because from what I understand, I believe this is a collection of shorter stories, or at least a collection of novellas. I really don't like anthologies, short stories, novellas, etc. Like, they're just not my thing. I have tried repeatedly to get into these types of collections and I just never can. I've also tried to read Joe Hill before and it really hasn't gone well. I love the Lock and Key series, but his actual novels don't seem to work for me. But who knows, maybe this will be the short story collection that finally does it. I don't know a lot about it. All I know is that it is a short story collection that is horror. And we'll replace that with favorite author. So this will be my 5th and hopefully last drop. 7. Something on Kindle Unlimited. For Kindle Unlimited, I'm going to be reading A Lady of Rooksgrave Manor by Kathryn. This is another paranormal erotica, and you know, I just wanted something festive for the Halloween season, and I feel like this will be it. I'm going to be including these 2 smutty paranormal books in my next 50 Shades of Smut vlog, so you'll be seeing my full thoughts on those during that. This is probably my favorite book that I've picked for that video. It just looks so fun. This is basically about our main character who has to go work for this manor that has quite a reputation for itself. I believe that there are all sorts of monsters in this story, like it's not just vampires or werewolves or anything. I believe there's a little bit of everything, and I've never read like a monster romance, but I've heard so many different booktubers talk about how great they are, and I'm really looking forward to trying this one out. I love the idea of a smut novel that's like not confined to reality in some way, because you can really just go over the top and do some crazy shit. So that's part of my TBR for the month of October. It's really just the tip of the iceberg. If you're at all interested in seeing what else I get up to reading or watching this October, then please stick around, subscribe to this channel, give it a like, whatever. And I hope you like this video, and I hope you come back again soon. Bye.